Alright guys, feeling here back with more Yakuza Like a Dragon. It is next morning actually. I do work later today, but yeah, I don't feel like doing much else, so we're just gonna play a bit here. We'll see how this goes. I'm not really feeling too confident, but we're damn it. Okay. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I have about, was it like 37-ish minutes till I typically get ready for work, so obviously don't really feel like editing for just 37 minutes. Like, I don't feel like that's really worth it, and also I'm just not really feeling like it, so you know what, let's do one episode. Why not? I want to finish this game at some point, so let's do it. It's so fucking weird that Han is just with us. Like, he doesn't fit in, I don't think, like the other three. Well, whatever. So not much to actually talk about. Again, not really. I was just went to sleep, woke up, ate breakfast, that sort of shit. Like, typical shit. Not really anything to really talk about. New video comes out in about an hour. The recasting Winners at War video, which I'm hoping does okay. I'm not expecting it to do like ridiculously well. Like, I'm expecting it to do like pretty average for a modern Survivor video. So again, like the 6,000 to 7,000 range would be ideal there. And like, if it matches the old school versus new school video, that's where I'm fine with it. If it does worse, then it's like kind of eh. It's not great, considering that video in itself didn't do great. But whatever. Oh yeah, Big Brother live feed update is gonna start relatively soon, so I'll probably go ahead and listen to that. I know like a lot of like crazy shit happened yesterday, but I haven't really been fully looking in on it. Like, I know that Toya got into some fights with like Kyle and Rowe and okay. That maybe wasn't as good as I thought it was. Oh, whatever. Okay, never mind, worked out. Yeah, at this point, I feel like we might as well just go all out on these fights. There we go. Well, that worked out for him, at least. I find it funny when, like, all the people that aren't in our party get leveled up, but whatever.
確かに一地方自治の長である都知事が国政に介入するというのは前例がございません。しかし新しい試みというのは常に前例がないことです。
青木さんね、あんたまだ若すぎるんだよ。国政ってのは学生の遊びじゃないんだよ。
地方自治は学生の遊びだということですか？
Yeah, so as we're doing that here, I think after work I'll probably try to edit. We'll see. We'll see how I feel, but I'll probably try to edit a bit. Yeah, I'm like I still at the top 7 of that video to edit, so it's like I'll probably, ideally I'd like to get to at least top 5, right? And then tomorrow morning I should have more time to work on things. I mean, maybe again, like technically, I think about it again, like I don't really like. I mean, like if I get up at a decent time, then I will. But it's like certain daylight savings times involved and everything. I'm gonna be kind of fucked, aren't I?
しかし君ね、東上会が壊滅したからってカムロ町からヤクザが消えたわけじゃないでしょ。噂じゃ関西のヤクザがいっぱい入ってきたとか。
関西のヤクザとは近江連合のことですか？先日大阪府警に解散届を提出したと聞きましたが。
そうだよ。でもそれはつまり危険を伴った参詣作戦などしなくても彼らは自主的に消滅したってことじゃないの？
危険を伴った作戦？果たしてそうでしょうか。今回解散を主導したと言われる幹部の一人、荒川真澄が殺害されたのはご存知ですよね。つまりヤクザ組織が自主的に解散したと思われているようですが、現実としてその中身は決して平和的にはいかないということです。ところが参詣作戦では一人の死者など出しておりません。これは私がブリーチジャパンの活動で得たノウハウが大きく作用しているわけです。
今回の総選挙、民自党はブリーチジャパンから多数立候補者を立てているわけですが、幹事長としての狙いは？
一言で言えば民自党の若返りです。ブリーチジャパン立候補者は年齢も若く活力にあふれています。彼らの力を持ってこの国に残るグレーゾーンを徹底的に漂白します。
Okay. So what now? So, well, to be honest, again, like for main narrative-wise, I'm not that interested in what's going on. You know, like thematically, I do like this story. I do like the game from a gameplay perspective. Even though I think there's like structure stuff that's fucked up, or not structure. What am I talking about? I do think there are like some dumb gameplay mechanics, but for the most part, I do really like the game. Again, story-wise, though, I don't really care. Outside of, I was interested in the Arakawa stuff, but like now that the Arakawa stuff is like kind of done, it's like at this point, I really don't actually care about the story that much. But whatever.
会長はどうしてここに？
さっき平安堂でお前に渡し忘れたものがあってな。
Shouldn't my feet update be starting soon? Ah, shit, did I really do that?
で、会長、俺に渡し忘れたものって一体？
俺に頼み事をしてた件だよ。忘れたんじゃねえだろうな。
頼み事？
Okay.
立候補者。
久米を落選させて青木のメンツを潰す。そのため
Oh, so he's giving us the money back?
見つかったんですか。青木に勝てる立候補者。
四方八方手を尽くして探したんだがな。
Yeah, I am thinking we're probably gonna need to grind at some point.
いいアイデアを持ってきたぜ。
I don't know when to do it though.
アイデアって何です。
Because again, like from what I understand, the final boss is level 60. And I don't even remember what level we're at, but I don't believe we're even at level 50 yet, right? So it's like I do feel like we should probably go and grind. We'll see. I'm just checking update like Reddit and Twitter to see if there's anything to talk about there. But it doesn't look like anything's really... Oh, that is something. I forgot about that. The Circle announced its cast. The Circle, the civilian season that's starting this week, which, yeah, I mean, pretty excited for. It's weird because it's like I wasn't excited for it at all. But now with the Celebrity Circle being on, I'm having a lot of fun watching it. I'm excited for the regular Circle. I'm not excited to cover it. Like, I think that's going to be a pain. To watch it every fucking day and read the review and all that shit. But it's like, for the most part, though, I am enjoying it. What? Like, why? It's so fucking weird. Oh, I guess. I guess there's a rumor right now that Jaws Unleashed is getting a remaster. So, that's something. I mean, it's a fun game. I've only played like a little bit of it, but it's a really fun game. There we go, live feed update. So it's like, I wouldn't be opposed to getting it, but it's like, it's funny. It's like of all things, that's the thing that we're going for.
I'm your host, Aaron Armstrong, and I'm here today. Scally, how you doing, Scally? Hello. I'm good. I'm excited. We finally have a split house. There's so much going on. Lots to talk about on this season of Big Brother, so I could not be happier. Yes, well, there's a lot to talk about here as we are going to explain everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother Canada 9 live feeds. It was day 14 in the house, and people won't stop. No, not for a minute. Like, the second one person stops, the next person, like, Trevor's ready to go, LaToya's ready to go, Kyle's ready to go out of nowhere. Apparently he has a personality, so that's good to find out. But yeah, every person in this house is gaming non-stop, or, you know, having arguments at the very least. Yeah,
again, as I said, at this point I'm done with this game. Like, I've enjoyed playing the game, but I just really want this game to end. I forgot that we're probably gonna get a blocked final chapter, aren't we? I didn't even think about that until now. But yeah, when we get to the final chapter, more than likely, like at the other Yakuza games, recording's gonna get blocked, so probably won't be able to record footage for that.
Honestly, one of the main things about yesterday for me was kind of like a Tina watch. Like, where is Tina? What is she thinking? It's hard.
But still, I would like to finish this game by Tuesday. That's still the goal right now. Can it happen? I don't fucking know. But we're still gonna try.
Kyle and Rose side and the
Thank you.
Sunsetter side, and she keeps getting told by
Wait,
both
let's just
sides
make
that
a
both
backup
sides
save.
are coming after her, and it kind of feels like she genuinely is like, I don't know what to believe anymore. Is this a safe position here in the middle? Do I need to pick a side? Which side should I pick? And so she's talking to Kiefer, and she says to Kiefer she's never really felt great about tying Jed. And that she feels like they don't talk to her that much. She doesn't feel very respected by them. This is something that we've heard from her in the past, but she's bringing it up again now. And she kind of feels like, oh well, now that they need me, they're talking to me more. But I never really felt.
Oh, we should spend that money on this. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
We've been so impressed with Tina, and so as soon as Victoria won this HOH, it was exciting, recognizing that Tina's probably going to find herself in the middle there. We saw on the show she expressed that she's kind of felt at the bottom. Whether that's necessarily truly how she's feeling or not, I think she recognizes that this is a spot where she can once again work herself back into the middle between the two sides of the house. And
I wasn't paying attention. Why are we running for office?
Shook that ground for her last week.
Well, whatever, I don't fucking care enough.
excited
I really
she
don't.
is, recognizing that, but I don't know if she should necessarily be vocalizing that to Kiefer of all people right now.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. On like the first or second night of feeds, I do remember that I pointed out that Tina was like concerned about Toya talking to Tara, and that like she came in on a conversation between Toya and Ty, and they didn't let her in on it, and then she was like, I've been getting a vibe, Toya, like,
well then I might as well just fast travel.
And I feel
right?
like that
yeah.
may be part of what is going on here. That I feel like Tina is such a naturally gifted social person, and I think that she is overly concerned with situations where she is not explicitly made to feel comfortable, if that makes sense. She's probably very used to, I mean, she says in her intro stuff that she's very used to people coming to her, being drawn to her, and it's clear to see that is the case. People are drawn to Tina, but I think in this game context, it may be contributing toward a paranoia that is like, I don't know if I can trust these people. And she can. The Sunsetters, even when they're alone, talk about how great Tina is and how loyal they are to her. But she's having trouble, I think, committing to that and trusting it, and I think that could cause problems with her, because I think in order to play this middle role, you need to have confidence that what you're doing is working, or you'll slip up and you'll get caught.
Yeah, I think it's partially like when you feel comfortable everywhere in the house, like no place feels more comfortable necessarily than the other at a certain point. So Tina's kind of finding herself in like, well, I feel good with the Sunsetters, but I also feel great with these people. They're all giving me like good feedback and seeming to fit in over here. I think that probably part of it is also like Tina's a little insecure about like where she fits in within this group. But I do have the faith that she has the skills in order to work out whichever side she wants to currently.
Yeah, so Ro and Kiefer are going to talk about, who might go up on the block. They both kind of pretend that they don't know. And they talk about potentially rebuilding their relationship, all that stuff that happened. Oh man, it was nuts, but we can rebuild. We can start fresh, and it's a very boring conversation, but I'm bringing it up now because it's relevant later.
Oh, yes it is. I was excited to see Rose stay around in the house, and this was encouraging, seeing him making inroads with both sides of the house, working on Kiefer, repairing relationships that lasted for, a good morning.
Yeah. Jed, Ty, Kyle, and Ro, the Pretty Boys 2.0, are gonna meet up in the backyard, in the hot tub area, and basically it's sort of, so the night before, Kyle and Ro kind of interrogated Beth about the flip situation, and they caught her in some lies. They're gonna do something similar here with Ty and Jed, where they're kind of asking them questions. And Jed definitely gets caught up once or twice trying to explain what happened with the flip.
Okay, well, I feel like what
Kyle
we
and
should
Roe are just kind of
do
pretending
before that
that
probably
they
go
don't know
here
that they're lying.
and heal,
Not actually
because we are
confronting
down.
Ty and
Fuck,
Jed,
that
but
went
just
into.
kind of being like,
We're down a little bit in
they're
terms of
lying to
H.
us right now.
Or did they restore
It's
us?
not
Oh,
a
they
great
restored us.
conversation for
Oh,
Ty
fuck.
and Jed as they
Whatever.
just continue
Doing
to
it
explain
anyway.
stuff away. They're mostly blaming it on Toya, trying to put a little bit on Tara, and they also are gonna
Fuck off.
name drop Kiefer as
Oh, wait, can we upgrade their bonds
telling them
again?
things about Kyle and Roe. And then they kind of end the conversation with like, well, and of course we're not going after
I don't
each other.
actually
because
care,
we'll
though,
stick
do I?
together.
Yeah, it's tough when they're blaming things on Toya, but then when they're asked about who they'll put up on the block, they don't name her, they name Kiefer, and so it's gonna kind of box yourself in for later in the week, potentially. Let's say these nominations stay the same,
I don't
and you
actually
talk about,
care.
like, oh, actually, we should vote out, like, Kiefer, but like, oh, wasn't it Latoya's fault? We should vote out like Latoya. Like Latoya's going home. I've totally been on board. Like, weren't you gonna nominate Kiefer and not Latoya? So they're kind of putting their foot in their mouth a little bit here, and I think Kyle and Roe are really on guard to pick that type of stuff up.
We're also going to get a brief interaction, but it's one that some people were excited about. Braden, Austin, Kyle, and Roe are kind of hanging out in the kitchen,
gain
chatting
more
with each
experience when
other,
he's not in
and
it.
Vic
Okay, well,
comes
then,
up, and
fuck.
she's like, hey guys,
I'm never gonna do that.
what do you think? What do you think about this? We're the oddballs. New alliance name.
Hey, not as good as Amon's the Moonlighters, but you know, it is encouraging to at least see the side of the house. I really thought that we missed our shot with Austin having HOH last week, and really nothing solid forming at all. You would have
Okay,
thought,
don't care.
especially like Kyle and Roe are so gung ho with Austin and Braden now. You would have thought that this would have developed a little more last week.
Oh, he's
but
level 3.
Good to see that at least it is solidifying now, and if that can include Victoria,
Okay,
then
I'm
it's
never gonna
exciting
use
to
that,
have
though.
a solid two sides of the house at this point.
And serious credit to Kyle, who I talked about this when he was initially trying to bond with Austin. He was falling pretty flat. He was taking the flirty direction, and she was not having it. But since then, him and Roe have just continued to hang out with Austin and Braden, just on a personal level. He's stopped with the flirtiness, and they're just hanging out like friends. Roe has always had a good relationship with Braden, and that sort of social bond is what allowed them to flip Austin and Braden so successfully against Ty and Jed, who had an alliance with her, and Beth, who had an alliance with Austin prior to this, but via all the stuff with the flip and the fact that Roe and Kyle had this social bond with them, they were able to pull Austin and Braden away from
Okay, so I think what we're gonna
Jed
do,
and Beth,
let's make a backup save here again.
And, you know, props to them for that for sure. And we now,
And,
with this, with Vic winning
let's
this
go
HOH,
ahead and go
she's actively
here.
trying to make sure she has a group. So she is also doing well here, and so this is the oddballs. I am kind of with the people that usually like. If you're gonna name your alliance something that like is like, oh, we're quirky, we're the outcasts, like you gotta really be the quirky outcasts, because like this is the alliance that I think a lot of people thought would happen when we saw the cast, right? These are the young, pretty people.
Yeah, this is not quite the oddballs on most other seasons. I think it's a circumstantial oddballs, maybe. Like they can be outsiders, but they're not oddballs on paper necessarily.
Yeah, but that's fine. They you know, it works well enough. They were on the outs. You know, they were the minority. Now they are almost not anymore. They're just an official side, but I won't knock them too many points for the name. So we are then going to get Beth is going to talk with Austin, and they talk about the flip. They talk about Kyle and Roe. Beth is kind of feeling like I don't know if I can trust them, and she was wondering like, hey Austin, like what is your relationship with Kyle and Roe? And Austin's like, oh well, you know, we don't really talk game or anything. I don't know about anything. I don't know exactly what it was, but Austin basically like screws up, slips up, and reveals that she's in an alliance with Kyle and Roe. Later in the day, Beth is going to talk to Ty and be like, so I talked to Austin, and she just completely let it slip that they're working together. This is, that was assumed already, but kind of confirmed here by Austin.
Yeah, Ryder dies no more for Beth and Austin. Not great to go ahead and confirm it accidentally. Especially, like, if you were trying to, like, keep Beth, and obviously I don't think this is what Austin was doing in the slightest, but, like, there's some argument to, like, oh, I'm cluing in Beth because we're still close and, like, we're gonna keep each other involved, but neither has done that for the other in terms of their side alliances, at least on purpose. So, partially fumbling the ball in terms of the non-flip last week, partially leaking information accidentally. This is not going well for these two.
Yes, maybe it should be called the Odd Spheres. That would be a better name for sure. Rohan is going to talk with Tina, and they're later going to be there with Kyle, but initially it's just with Tina. Ro wants to know where Tina's at with Toya, because he knows that they had a relationship. And so there's so much lying that happens, especially today. I'm starting to genuinely think that people are just mishearing names, because there are so many T names: Ty, Tina, Toya, Tara. Like, and when people say Tara, I think a lot of people hear Tina and Tara, or they hear Tina, and so, like, maybe that's why Kiefer is so insistent that Ro and Kyle talked about targeting Tina. And maybe that's why Ro is so insistent that with what he's about to say. But, like, none of these things actually ever happened. And I can't tell if they're intentional lies or if they are just misunderstandings, but either way, the intent here from Ro is that he is trying to convince Tina that she can't trust Toya, right? So that's what his intent is. Whether or not he's actively lying about what he heard, I don't know, but his intent is to convince Tina that she can't trust Toya, and what he says is, hey, I was just talking to the guys, and basically they said that Toya would put you on the block. That you were one of the people that would put in the pool of people that Toya would put on the block. And Tina's like, wow, really? And he's like, yeah, that's what they said. That's, so I know you think you can trust Toya, but you really can't.
Again, here, gotta end within the next 20-ish minutes, probably.
Like this was an intentional lie by Ro. This was a very see-through sort of like, hey, you better vote out Toya. I know you think you're close to her, but she might put you up. But there's just been so much of this that I'm just like, all right, whatever. The intent was to deceive, regardless of whether the facts were true or not.
Yeah. Narrators are rarely reliable, especially in the Big Brother house, so it's tough to know whether these people are lying or are they just taking information that they heard and misremembering it. So I would not put either past Ro, so it is difficult to figure out. I don't know that Tina is necessarily going to take with this and run with it as easily as Ro may hope, but definitely tough to decipher what his recollection was of these events.
Exactly, and so that leads us into another, and this is the reason why I queued it up with Ro, because I'm gonna have to talk about this a bunch of times today. So they go to the HOH room, Kyle is there, and Tina says, so I've been hearing again today that you guys will put me on the block. And Ro's like, seriously? Again? They're trying again? Who said that? And she's like, wow. Like, you can guess. And they're like, and Kyle was like, excuse me? Like, if we're supposed to be working together, why wouldn't you tell us? And she's like, oh. You said it. And Ro was like, are you serious? I literally just had a conversation with him about, like, rebuilding our relationship, and he's already doing this again? Why would he do that? It doesn't make any sense. And I'm asking the same question, Tina. Why would he do that? It doesn't make any sense. I'm pretty sure he didn't do that. I'm pretty sure, in fact, that he said the opposite. I'm pretty sure he told Tina earlier that day that he felt like Ro and Kyle thought thought that Tina was on their side and that they wouldn't do anything to Tina. So I don't know where this came from. I don't know if she genuinely thinks that Kiefer told her that day, or if she was just taking what she had heard from Kiefer in previous days and sort of applying it to this day, and thought that she could kind of get away with like a slick little lie about like people are still trying to turn me against you, or if she was trying to pin it on somebody else, but when they questioned her about like who exactly it was, she chickened out and just went to Keith because that was a believable lie from in the past. I'm not entirely sure what happened again, but this is gonna cause some major headache for the entire house, basically.
Yeah, not great. I mean, Kiefer has proven with a lot of waffling in this past week, and, you know, the nerve being on the block, where it talks to go on the block, that Kiefer is likely to say just about anything. So while this doesn't make a ton of sense, I also wouldn't put it past Kiefer to be saying this. So that's what makes it so believable, whether Tina actually believes that he said this today or not.
So, Ro says, alright, well, I would love to just, like, get in a room with Tina and Keith and just clear this up. And Tina's like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Kiefer still thinks he can trust me, so I just feel like that would be a bad idea. I don't think that's something that we should do. And so she kind of changes the subject. She's like, well, who do you think, who's Vic putting up? Do you guys know? Exactly. And Ro says, well, you know, Keith, obviously, as her target, and I'm not sure who the other one, you know, maybe Brayden, maybe Toya, I'm not sure. He's lying to her. And this is something that I've noticed a lot. Like, Ro and Kyle, for as close as they are, almost always on separate pages when they're both in a conversation with somebody. So Ro is, like, trying to pretend like he doesn't know who Vic would put up. And Kyle's like, no, it's Toya. It's Keith and Toya. You know, we're all gonna be open about information. Like, he's trying to signal to Ro, like, don't try to lie to her. Like, she knows. And he's like, well, let's just be open with each other. Let's not hide.
We're probably gonna have to end here.
Let's not hide.
I really want to play more, obviously, but it's okay.
Ro. And then Vic comes in.
I do have to go to work
But this whole thing, like,
relatively soon, so we're gonna have to end here. Next episode, continue on.
like, I think she's very good at bonding with most people.
But for now, thank you for watching.